Damn it! The demon lord of the abyss felt like he had really seen a ghost. Why did the magic weapon he had refined explode again? The power of the bone sword and bone shield in the explosion gathered together and re-evolved into a giant sword, slashing towards the abyss demon lord. The starry sky is blocked, and the abyss demon lord has nowhere to escape. At this time, Lin Muyu's sword slashed the air and came to him. In the roar of the abyss demon lord, he once again sacrificed his own world of rules. The sword light exploded, and the world of rules of the abyss demon lord was chopped to pieces on the spot, damaging Tian Long. Lin Muyu struck out with his second sword at this time. This sword was enough to kill the abyss demon lord. The demon lord of the abyss screamed strangely, "Demon lord, save me." A demonic face emerged from the original fire, and the demonic face spurted flames and collided with the sword light, exploding into flames all over the sky. In the light of the fire, the abyss demon lord turned into a giant, and the original fire rose into the sky. The demon lord's face was rising and falling in the flames, staring at Lin Muyu. "Who are you?" First, it was the supreme magic weapon, and now it is the holy magic weapon. Two inexplicable magic weapons broke apart and even betrayed each other. This is extremely unusual. And all the unusualness comes from the human woman in front of him. Lin Muyu had a heroic appearance. Her beautiful eyes looked at the demon lord coldly. "Kill your people." The heaven and earth sword in his hand lit up fiercely. Without any unnecessary nonsense, Lin Muyu slashed out with the sword again. The sword light was more brilliant than before, and the terrifying and boundless sword energy swept across hundreds of millions of miles of starry sky, almost covering most of the battlefield. Countless warriors who were fighting were horrified, and they retreated quickly with tiny wounds appearing all over their bodies. Fortunately, they were far away from Lin Muyu and only suffered a slight impact. The other shore is relatively close, and the wounds on the body are more serious. Although it was just a physical injury, it was nothing to the other side realm, but they were hundreds of millions of miles apart and could still be injured by the aftermath. Lin Muyu's sword made people feel fearful. Not only the other side of the human race, but also the other side of the alien race. They stopped in unison and looked towards Lin Muyu at the same time. After just one glance, I felt my eyes hurt, and blood and tears flowed from my eyes. Several saints who were closer to Lin Muyu shouted loudly at the same time almost at the moment she drew her sword. The world of rules emerged one after another, and the power of rules enveloped her whole body. The sword energy swept across the starry sky, and they were the first to bear the brunt. Countless sword energy fell on them, and the world of rules was also impacted. The Saint of War was horrified in his eyes. "This sword is extremely terrifying." There was some obsession in the eyes of the sword saint. "This is the real way of swordsmanship. This sword can truly reach the peak of the saint." In their eyes, Lin Muyu's sword had reached the peak of the saint. But Lin Muyu is only in the other side realm now, and he has only walked a short distance in the other side realm. He is still far away from the saint, and he has not even built a rules world. How could she use such sword power? Destroy the world with one sword. A world evolved in the sword light. This world was extremely prosperous and bright, with creatures everywhere. But then, this world was annihilated again in the light of the sword. This sword shattered a world and destroyed it. The demon lord's face changed drastically, and he roared, and the fire of the abyss and the fire of hell gathered at the same time to form a real demon's fire. The original fire belonging to the abyss demon lord was added to it, which increased the power of the demon fire. The demonic fire gathered into a sword and faced the sword light. With a loud bang, the devil's fire collapsed, just like the world in the sword light, completely collapsed. The flame was cut open, and the demon lord's face was cut in half. The demon lord roared again, and the flames boiled for the second time, exploding in the starry sky, and the starry sky turned into a sea of fire in an instant. The voice of the demon lord came from the sea of fire. "Who are you?" His voice was filled with anger and a hint of fear. Lin Muyu's sword was indeed a bit too strong, and even he was extremely surprised. Lin Muyu snorted coldly, "When I reach the Saint Realm, I will accept you as my new friend." She is still just on the other side now, and she is still a little short of being able to kill the Demon Lord. If you reach the Saint Realm, it is indeed possible to kill the Demon Lord. Following Lin Muyu's words, the sea of fire exploded, countless flames rose into the sky, and the starry sky for hundreds of millions of miles was wrapped in flames. The Demon Lord has become angry and murderous. He wants to kill Lin Muyu to prevent her from having the chance to reach the Holy Saint. At this time, Lin Muyu's face was slightly pale, and she was almost overdrawn by destroying the world with one sword. However, her expression was still cold, and she was still unafraid of being in a sea of fire. The heaven and earth sword vibrated and shed sword light, protecting Lin Muyu. Lin Muyu flew back, not entangled with the Demon Lord. The sea of fire rolled up into waves and turned into a terrifying demon, killing Lin Muyu. Lin Muyu was protected by the heaven and earth sword and was not afraid. Suddenly, countless stars came from afar, crossing an infinite distance in an instant and reaching the sky above the sea of fire. The starlight fell into the sea of fire, and the sea of fire roared in an instant, and the demon condensed by the flames collapsed on the spot. The starlight condensed into the figure of Mr. Xing, who snorted coldly, "Old guy, don't you follow the rules?" The flames gathered on the Demon Lord's face again, and he stared at Xing Lao. Xing Lao also stared at the Demon Lord with a smile, but this smile was full of murderous intent. Xing Lao and Rubik's Cube, both sides want to kill each other. But none of them made a move. The Demon Lord snorted, and the flames quickly gathered, transforming into the Abyss Demon Lord again. At this time, the Abyss Demon Lord seemed to have lost consciousness, and the Demon King was controlling his body. The Demon Lord said in a deep voice, "Have you made an agreement with the one at the border?" Xing Lao looked at the Demon Lord with a faint smile, and slowly uttered a few words, "Can you care?" The Demon Lord snorted coldly and stopped talking. He really can't control it. The two sides are life and death enemies, so no matter what method is used, it is normal. With the intervention of the Demon Lord and Xing Lao, this war changed. The saints on both sides stopped fighting in unison, and the fight was not as fierce as before. Xing Lao glanced across the battlefield and said with a smile, "Whoever beats you, don't worry about this place." The seemingly casual words were like an order, and the battlefield was boiling again. "Kill!" The sword master let out a sweet roar, igniting his fighting spirit again, and his sword intent rose to kill his opponent. Xing Lao smiled with satisfaction and said to Lin Muyu, "Just adjust your breath. As long as I'm here, no one can hurt you." Lin Muyu nodded, closed her beautiful eyes, and began to regulate her breathing. The battle between her and the Abyss Demon Lord failed to kill the Abyss Demon Lord because of the intervention of the Demon Lord. However, the Demon Lord of the Abyss was severely damaged, especially the nearby world of rules was shattered, and he didn't know how many years it would take to recover. The Demon Lord and Xing Lao confronted each other, but neither of them took action. In fact, both sides did not come in person, only projections, and their combat power was about the same as that of the Holy Lord at his peak. In this state, there is no point in fighting. The war is still going on, and neither the alliance of hundreds of races nor the human race wants to lose. The alliance of hundreds of clans is in urgent need of a victory to really boost their morale. As for the human race, in addition to winning, it also needs time. In the White Tiger Clan Star territory, Lin Muyu quickly killed the cultivator of the Black Blood Realm and collected his body. Since we have arranged a backup plan to prevent the Ghost Tribe from appearing again, we should have more than just this method. The Star territory may have been surrounded. I wonder if they will rush in, because do the Tiger Clan want to save it or give up? Screams rang out, and the Red Tiger Clan on the other side was finally defeated under the siege of Mavericks and the Resurrectionists. He was seriously injured and fled quickly. Mavericks is not good at speed, and he couldn't catch up for a while. It is not easy to escape from the other shore and kill someone. Suddenly, a white mist appeared in the starry sky. The white mist expanded rapidly and swallowed up the Red Tiger Clan on the other side. Mavericks was stunned. He knew it was Lin Muyu who took action. He immediately turned around and continued to control the Resurrection Army, killing other galaxies. The other side of the Red Tiger tribe was struggling crazily in the Hell of Bones, but he never had a chance to escape and would be killed soon. Lin Muyu sensed the changes in the star field, and a smile gradually appeared on the corner of his mouth. Here he comes. As he expected, the alliance of hundreds of clans had more than one method. If just a guy from the Black Blood world comes, it may not be able to stop the Ghost tribe. With the cunningness of the Demon clan and the caution of the Golden Eagle clan, they will definitely prepare more backups. Perhaps, this strong man from the Black Blood world just came here to test. Unfortunately, they misjudged that it was not the ghosts who came, but Lin Muyu and his army of resurrectors. Lin Muyu felt the changes in the barrier. The barrier was becoming stronger and the space was becoming more stable. If this situation were 80 years ago, Lin Muyu might have nothing to gain. But now that there is a concealment talisman, this method is useless. The runes passed down by the ancient gods are far more magical than imagined. Looking at the Red Tiger clan star field that had been mostly destroyed, Lin Muyu said to Mavericks, "It's okay, come back." Mavericks was very obedient and immediately returned with the 890 army of resurrectors. The containment talisman array unfolded, taking in all the Mavericks and the Resurrectionist army. Then Lin Muyu quickly rushed to the edge of the star field and passed through the barrier generously. Although the barrier has become stronger, there is still nothing you can do with the concealment talisman. Lin Muyu hid his traces and sneaked along the periphery of the star field. He saw 4 demons from the other side, and they were reinforcing the end. Not far away, there are several other people from the Golden Eagle tribe, as well as a Holy Lord from the Golden Eagle tribe. This Holy Lord exudes red gold light all over his body. Lin Muyu knows him as the Red Gold Holy Lord. According to the information of the human race, he has not appeared for many years, and he has never appeared on the battlefield this time. Unexpectedly, it appears here now. There are 5 other shores of the Golden Eagle clan, and 1 Holy Master. The 4 demons are on the other side. There are 10 people in total, and their combat power is extremely powerful. You really think highly of me. Lin Muyu sneered. He fully understood. The man in the Black Blood realm was just an introduction, just to hold him back. The Black Blood realm seems to have its own unique way. You can move freely where the power of the Black Blood realm is permeated. The specific principle is not clear to Lin Muyu, but there must be a reason for such an arrangement. Use the strong men from the Black Blood realm to hold you back, then reinforce the barrier, and finally have the strong men from the Golden Eagle clan kill you. When the space is blocked and unable to escape, the Golden Eagle clan will have an absolute advantage. But they didn't expect the concealment talisman to be so powerful, and the reinforced barrier still couldn't stop Lin Muyu. Lin Muyu knows his own strength. Although he is not afraid of the Holy Lord, he still has to pay a price if he wants to kill the Holy Lord. It is not necessary at the moment. Moreover, most of the Red Tiger clan has been destroyed, and they also know the methods used by the alliance of hundreds of clans to deal with them. This is enough. Lin Muyu suddenly felt a slight tremor in his heart and felt a hint of danger. He quickly left and glanced into the distance. He felt that a terrifying presence was approaching quickly. He is a half-step supreme, an existence on the same level as Xing Lao. And there's not just one, there are 2. Lin Muyu saw 2 spots of light from a distance, and 2 half-step supremes arrived. The 2 smells are familiar yet strange. One of them belongs to the Golden Eagle clan and has the unique aura of the Golden Eagle clan. The other one is more obvious and belongs to the Black Blood world. Lin Muyu didn't dare to look more, for fear that the other party would react if he looked too much. There is still half a supreme being alive in the Black Blood world. What happened back then? Why didn't I see the Black Blood ghost in the World Sea? If it weren't for the fact that Jiahai Bay hadn't recovered yet, Lin Muyu really wanted to go to Jiahai again and have a good search to see where the Black Blood realm had gone. He believed that the black blood world would not disappear and must be hidden in a way that he did not know. There are strong men from the black-blooded world in the big world. This is the best evidence. The Eagle Emperor and a man in black came outside the Red Tiger Star territory. The man in black glanced into the distance, seemingly looking for something. The Eagle Emperor also followed his gaze and found nothing, so he asked, "What's wrong?" The man in black shook his head. "Maybe I saw it wrong." The direction he was looking was exactly the direction Lin Muyu left. After Lin Muyu was hundreds of millions of miles away, he got out of the battleship and got in. The battleship started, entered deep space, and flew into the distance. At the same time, Lin Muyu took out the flying sword talisman and transmitted the information he obtained back to the human race. The cultivators of the Black Blood realm are still alive, and among them is the Half-Step Supreme. This is a big deal for the human race, and must be reported back as soon as possible. As far as he knew, among the human race, except for Xing Lao and Human Emperor, they were Half-Step Supreme. And both have restrictions. Xing Lao's restrictions are smaller, and he can still leave the human race area. The Human Emperor cannot leave the human race and can only fight in the human race area. And because of the characteristics of the Human Emperor network, the closer to the central area, the stronger the Human Emperor's power. If it were only in the Sifang Star territory, the Human Emperor would be about the same as the Holy Lord, far inferior to the Half-Step Supreme. So in Lin Muyu's eyes, the human race has 1.5 Half-Step Supremes. It's a little worse than the Golden Eagle clan and the Demon clan. There is more than enough defense, but not enough siege. But now if the Half-Step Supreme of the Black Blood realm is added to the mix, then the human race will be completely at a disadvantage. Lin Muyu thought about what he saw and compared it with the information he had received before. The Demon Lord and the Eagle Emperor seemed to have limitations. Like Xing Lao, their combat power will be weakened if they are too far away. It's just that compared to the Human Emperor, much better. The Half-Step Supreme of the Black Blood realm, I don't know what the situation is. There should be restrictions, otherwise I would have taken action long ago. From the current point of view, our human race's defense is not a problem, but if we want to take them down, it will still be difficult. I don't know how the battle is going on the front line. The Red Tiger clan has not been destroyed, so that the 100 Clans Alliance will not collapse. It is true that the alliance of hundreds of races has not yet reached the point of collapse. From the current point of view, it will still take a while. We need to change our plans a little bit. Do we want to do something big? Lin Muyu knew that it was impossible to erase all races one by one as he thought. These races are not stupid, they will just stand there and wait for you to kill them. When they see something is wrong, they will naturally run away, and they will definitely jump outside the territory. Lin Muyu felt that he should find a way to solve this problem. Once they really escape outside the territory, the follow-up will be troublesome. In the Red Tiger Clan Star territory, the Red Gold Saint's eyes were shining with red gold light, with an incredible look. When did you escape? How could you escape? There was no movement in the barrier, but there was no longer a giant beast in the Red Tiger Clan Star 1.3 domain. Those giant beasts in the starry sky just disappeared out of thin air. The Eagle King looked at the man in black next to him. Blood Lord, what do you think? The Blood Lord whispered, before, my subordinate was killed here. He died very quickly and was unable to send back any more information. But it can be seen from the information he sent back that there should be another person here. Eagle Emperor said, to be able to kill Bayan so quickly, it must have been the Holy Lord who took action. Could it be that he is really the one from the land of ghosts? The Blood Lord shook his head. It's hard to say. I can only say that this possibility cannot be ruled out. The Red Gold Saint suddenly said, I remember that in the border area, there is a giant starry beast named Phantom Beast. It seems to have the ability to ignore the formation barrier. The Eagle Emperor's eyes lit up. It seems that I want to go to the border area. Shuizun said, I won't go. Clear. The emergence of the Bone Hell, coupled with the promotion of the human race, caused the alliance of hundreds of races to misunderstand them as the ghost race. This time, the Resurrection Army made them think that it was the human race that united with the starry sky beasts in the borderland. They never checked on Lin Muyu. The first is that Lin Muyu's level is still low. According to their intelligence, Lin Muyu is still at the second level of the God Sovereign and cannot do these things at all. Secondly, Lin Muyu seems to have been practicing in seclusion in the human race and has not gone out. Therefore, they instinctively put Lin Muyu aside. The war in the Suzaku Star territory finally came to an end after lasting for nearly a month. In this battle, there was no winner or loser between the two sides. Everyone suffered casualties, and no one took advantage. Several saints' magic weapons came out at the same time, and even the war god's Spear of War failed to gain an absolute advantage. Only Lin Mohan severely damaged the Abyss Demon Lord. Barely counting, the human race still has the advantage. Lin Mohan's sword to destroy the world is indeed powerful in attack power, but the overdraft is also powerful. After that sword attack, Lin Mohan could not fully recover for a whole month. Xing Lao and the Demon Lord have been facing each other for a month, but neither side has made a move. After withdrawing their troops, the human race rested for 26 days. Although they didn't win, their morale was not affected. To them, the human race still won. The alliance of hundreds of clans has a total of 2 billion people, while its own side only has 1 billion. If the number of people is half the difference, it can still be a draw, and the casualties will be much smaller. What is it if it is not a victory? In the fortress of the God of War, the Lord of War whispered, "Something is wrong. Where did they get so many magic weapons?" As soon as he said this, everyone immediately felt the same. The other shore realms present also felt this way. In this battle, many other shore realms in the 100 Clans Alliance used powerful magic weapons. These magic weapons are obviously not owned by their race, and they don't know where they come from. Each one of them is very powerful, otherwise the fighting power of the other side of the human race can completely suppress them. The Sword Master said, "As far as we know, neither the Demon Clan nor the Golden Eagle Clan are good at refining magic weapons." Fu Xingzuan said, "These magic weapons suddenly appeared. They were distributed by the Demon Clan, and almost everyone in the other side realm has one of them." Through the Shimu ancestral tree, he knew more information than others. Over the years, the Demon Clan has continued to send out a large number of magic weapons, giving them to everyone in the other side. It's just that those in the other side realm don't know the origin of the magic weapon, so they can use it if it's useful. The level of the recipient is limited, and the highest level is the god. This information was also accidentally learned when talking about the other side of the world. At this time, suddenly a flying sword talisman flew from a distance and fell directly into the hands of Xingzuan Fu. After Fu Xingzuan read the contents, he put away the flying sword formation as if nothing had happened. He said loudly, "Information came from the Human Emperor's network that there was a beast wave in the Red Tiger Clan star field." Everyone was in a daze. There was actually a beast wave. This kind of thing has not happened for a long time, but considering the area where the Red Tiger Clan is located, it seems normal. The starry sky beasts in the border area will occasionally launch attacks on all races in the domain. The frequency and location of the beast tide are not fixed, so it's hard to say. Most people think that this beast wave is just a coincidence. Xingzuan Fu didn't say anything more, and everyone continued to discuss the matter. After some discussion, everyone from the other side left, leaving only a few saints and Lin Mohan in the conference hall. Saint Killer asked, "Is your friend responsible for the beast tide?" Xingzuan Fu nodded. "People talk a lot, so I didn't say it just now. The beast tide is indeed caused by Lin Xiaoyu." The Sword Saint frowned. Why did he launch a tide of beasts, and how could he control the giant beasts in the starry sky? Fu Xingzuan said, "This is not important. The other important thing is that Xiaoyu Lin met people from the Black Blood Dog world." Everyone was stunned for a moment, and then murderous intent rose. The Black Blood realm and the Big World are mortal enemies. This hostility has penetrated into the blood and been carved into the bone marrow. Almost as soon as he hears the word Black Blood World, he will be born with a murderous intention. The war saint said in a low voice, "Explain in detail." Fu Xingzuan told the news that Lin Muyu had brought back. The people of the Black Blood Realm have colluded with the Demon Clan and the Golden Eagle Clan. The Red Gold Saint from the Golden Eagle Clan also appeared. It seemed like they were going to deal with the Ghost Tribe, but they didn't expect that Xiao Yulin would launch a wave of beasts this time. He feels that people in the Black Blood Realm are not that simple, and he wants us to be careful. Judging from the news brought back by Lin Muyu, Hei Erdosai is only connected with the Demon Clan and the Golden Eagle Clan. But everyone agreed that the Black Blood Realm and the 100 Clans Alliance were connected. As the mortal enemy of the Big World, the Black Blood World and the Big World are only separated by life and death. Anyone who colludes with the Black Blood World is the mortal enemy of the Great World and the mortal enemy of the human race. Killing Saint Lord had murderous intent on his body. Do they want to repeat what happened in ancient times? Although our strength is far inferior to that of ancient times, we will never allow such a thing to happen. The War Saint said, back then, the great Black Blood Realm and the ancient Supreme Heavenly Lord disappeared together and disappeared for millions of years. According to the information we have, in that war, the strength of the Black Blood World was actually no stronger than that of the Great World. It was only later that various races rebelled, which made the world weak. In that battle, the Black Blood Realm also suffered heavy damage, and their remaining strength will not be too strong. Fu Xingzuan nodded, I think so. Lin Xiaoyu said that he saw a half-step supreme in the Black Blood Realm. I guess this may be the strongest person they have left. Several people frowned, and the Sword Saint said in a low voice, half-step supreme, this matter is a bit troublesome. The War Saint said, I don't know if there are any restrictions on the half-step supreme in the Black Blood World. The Star Elder Emperor of the human race, the Demon Lord of the demon race, and the Eagle Emperor of the Golden Eagle race all have certain restrictions. If there are no restrictions on the half-step supreme in the Black Blood World, it will be a big problem. Killing Saint said, it doesn't have to be half-step supreme. Don't forget the one in the Dark Void. The black-blooded man in the Dark Void is actually a powerful man equivalent to the Supreme. I don't know what method he used to survive from ancient times to the present. If there were 2 more people like this, the human race might not be able to stop them. Lin Mohan slowly opened her beautiful eyes at this time. Don't worry, when I reach the Holy Lord, I can kill half a step of the Supreme Lord. When I reach the halfway point of Supreme, maybe I can kill the Supreme. She spoke calmly, without any ripples, but it made people feel chilly. No one thought she was joking, but stating something. As for when he can reach the Holy Master, in addition to Lin Mohan's own cultivation, it also depends on Lin Muyu. As long as Lin Muyu can advance to a few more levels, he can push Lin Mohan to the Saint. The War Saint said, Fairy Han will be promoted to Saint Lord and we can provide all the needs for building a world of rules. Fairy Han can just export it. Lin Mohan shook his head, you may not have what I want. The Sword Saint was a little puzzled, there is something that we don't have. She didn't understand that with the resources of the human race, most things could be obtained. If they don't even exist, then probably no one does. The Divine Stone of Rules. Lin Mohan spit out 4 big words. Several saints have heard of the Divine Stone of Rules, but only Fu Xingzuan has actually seen it. The Sword Saint frowned, it seems that we really don't have the legendary materials to pave the way to the gods. Fu Xingzuan said, there is indeed no one in the human warehouse, but Lin Xiaoyu has one in his hand. Lin Muyu had previously obtained a Rules Divine Stone, which several saints could not access. In the end, the Rules Divine Stone was also given to Lin Muyu for safekeeping. His words made the Sword Master raise his eyebrows, and his original disappointment disappeared instantly, and he immediately said, then let him get it. Fu Xingzuan said, this matter is not urgent. Fairy Han is not yet at the saint level. Lin Xiaoyu has other things to do outside. He will naturally come after a while. Lin Mohan said, don't worry, I will ask Xiaoyu for it when he comes. Fu Xingzuan muttered in his heart, the Rule Stone is the material for repairing the divine path. I don't know how Xiao Yu Lin should decide. I can only think about this in my heart, but I cannot say it out loud. After all, the rule stone belongs to Lin Muyu. How to deal with it in the end depends on Lin Muyu. Several saints here have already regarded Lin Mohan as the reincarnation of an ancient power. They all have expectations. After Lin Mohan reaches the saint realm, he can really kill the Supreme with a sword in half a step. Then the human race will truly have the strength to eradicate all races. At present, even if he can defeat the Abyss Demon on the battlefield, he is still somewhat powerless against the Demon Lord Eagle Emperor. A month later, Lin Muyu's battleship resurfaced. Since the battle with the Red Tiger clan, Lin Muyu has slightly changed his original plan. Originally, he wanted to cripple several races and then strangle them together to reap the rewards of the big world. But now that the Black Blood world has intervened, and several tribes have already taken precautions, his plan cannot continue like this. And he realized that the alliance of hundreds of clans was still useful for the time being, and they could not be allowed to collapse. At least they cannot be allowed to collapse until the problem of their escape outside the territory is solved. The human race does not have that many troops and can go outside the territory to hunt down various races. How to keep them within the domain has become the biggest problem at present. If you continue to play the role of the Ghost Clan, as long as a few more clans are wiped out, the alliance of hundreds of clans will inevitably fall apart. There will definitely be a large number of people from various races fleeing outside the territory, so it will be impossible to cut off the cause and effect for the big world. All previous efforts will be in vain. After thinking about it, Lin Muyu realized that only one person could complete this matter. That is the king of the borderland. Lin Muyu asked the direction of Mavericks, and then flew to the Tian Long Star territory. The king of the trading place is called Lord Tian Long by Mavericks, and his area is towards the direction of the Tian Long Star territory. Of course, it is still hundreds of thousands of light years away from the Tian Long Star territory. The battleship made a large circle from deep space and came to the edge of the junction again. Once entering the junction, it was impossible to sail from deep space. Lin Muyu put away the battleship and summoned Mavericks. He flew to Xianyo and sat down. Xianyo, take me to see Master Tian Long. The calf mooed, okay. Now he is convinced of Lin Muyu as his master. A fifth-level god can easily kill people in the other side of the world. This fighting power is unheard of. Mavericks thought, if Lin Muyu reaches the other side, he will be able to kill the half-step Supreme. Mavericks even felt a sense of honor to be treated as a mount by such a person. It carries Lin Muyu across the starry sky. The aura of the other shore realm spread out, and none of the surrounding giant beasts of the divine realm dared to come over. Mavericks quickly approached the area where Tian Long was, and Lin Muyu suddenly said, "Stop." Mavericks suddenly braked and stopped. "Master, what are your orders?" Lin Muyu said, "This place just went through a war not long ago." Mavericks looked around, but found nothing. Lin Muyu is very sensitive to the fluctuations of space. The space here has obviously just recovered after the war. If it were just an ordinary battle, the space would be restored very quickly and leave little traces. But here, the space recovery speed is not only slow, but also leaves many cracks. This kind of crack can only be felt by those who master the laws of space. Lin Muyu tried to feel the space, and felt a powerful force from the cracks left behind. The level of power surpasses that of the Holy Lord, and has an obvious aura of the Golden Eagle clan. Lin Muyu's heart moved slightly, and he wondered who had come. Eagle Emperor, he came here not long ago. What is he here for? Is he also looking for Tian Long? Maverick asked, "Who is the Eagle King?" Lin Muyu said, "The heritage of the Golden Eagle clan, a half-step supreme existence." Mavericks was suddenly shocked. The Holy Lord was already out of reach for him, let alone the half-step supreme being. He opened his mouth and said, "Master Tian Long is in the realm of the saint, and the Eagle Emperor is the half-step supreme. Nothing will happen to Tian Long because he is a human being." Lin Muyu shook his head. "No, what comes should be the clone of the Eagle Emperor, or at most the fighting power of the Holy Lord. When they reach the half-step supreme level, they all have clones. Different from the clones of the demon clan, their clones are puppets formed by splitting some of their souls and refining their bodies with some special materials. Xing Lao has a clone, which exists in the form of a law ball. When needed, he will turn into Xing Lao's appearance. At that time, Xing Lao gave himself the law ball, which later played a huge role. Mavericks continued to move forward, and the closer he got to the area where Tian Long was, the more obvious the aura of fighting became. Lin Muyu also felt the smell of blood that had not dissipated. It was obvious that a giant starry beast had been injured or even killed. Finally, a continent appeared in sight. The diameter of the continent was about 1,000 kilometers, which could only be said to be very small. In the center of the continent, there is a towering tree 100,000 meters tall. The big trees are lush and green, exuding a vast atmosphere. This is an old tree, a very old tree. Lin Muyu only glanced at it and felt that this ancient tree should have been preserved from ancient times. On the ancient tree, there is a giant dragon. The dragon's body is exuding starlight, and its scales are as bright and beautiful as a mirror. There is also a pair of wings on its back. Compared with the dragon's body shape, these wings look very delicate. Is this a sacred dragon? Lin Muyu murmured in his heart. The dragon in front of him had obvious characteristics of a sacred dragon. But it is not the same as the sacred dragon, but closer to the divine dragon. At this time, on both sides of the mainland, two huge auras awakened and pressed towards Lin Muyu and Mavericks. At the same time, two starry sky beasts emerged, and Lin Muyu could feel that these two starry sky beasts also had the strength of the Saint Realm. There is more than one saintly realm. And this Tian Long seems to be not only at the Saint Master Realm, but a little stronger than the Saint Master Realm. Just as Lin Muyu was thinking, a loud voice sounded, "Who are you, Qian Zhaos?" At some point, Tian Long opened his eyes and looked at Lin Muyu indifferently. Lin Muyu looked at him with eyes that seemed a little familiar, as if he had seen him before somewhere. Suddenly, Lin Muyu thought of Antares. Tian Long's eyes are somewhat similar to Antares. Lin Muyu said, "Human Lin Muyu, I have met Senior Tian Long." Tian Long's voice was cold. "You little guy from the human race, what are you doing here?" As he spoke, he moved his nose and said, "You have the aura of the dragon on your body." Lin Muyu said, "Senior Tian Long is right, I do have a few dragon friends." "Dragon friends?" Tian Long murmured, and suddenly roared, "Get out!" The sound was like thunder, turning into lightning and striking Lin Muyu. Lin Muyu was stunned for a moment, and the bone hell instinct emerged, then dispersed by lightning. However, after breaking up the hell of bones, the power of lightning was also greatly weakened. A golden sword appeared in Lin Muyu's hand, and he waved it, forming a shield to block the lightning. Could it be that this Lord Tian Long has a grudge against the Dragon Clan? The Tian Long in front of him is obviously a dragon, but he seems to have a grudge against the dragon. No wonder his eyes are somewhat similar to Antares's. Both seem to have similar stories or similar experiences. Dragons are not good at hiding their emotions, and they often show what they have in their eyes. The same was true for Antares back then. Lin Muyu was not angry because of Tian Long's behavior. Instead, he said calmly, "You are very much like one of my dragon friends. He is also like you. Although he is a dragon, he hates the dragon." Mentioning the Dragon Clan again, Tian Long's eyes became even more angry. But when he finished listening to Lin Muyu's words, he seemed a little stunned. The main reason is that Lin Muyu said that although he is a dragon, he hates the dragons. Tian Long couldn't help but ask, "What's the name of your dragon friend?" Lin Muyu said, "His name is very strange, 4 words, Antares." Roar. Tian Long suddenly let out a violent roar, and the dragon's roar resounded through the starry sky. The continent he was on trembled violently, and the pieces collapsed. The breath of terror swept across, and an illusory world appeared behind Tian Long. In this world, white clouds were flying, as if they were dancing with dragons. Lin Muyu was knocked back by the violent breath, and the little bull monster screamed 380 and was knocked away, very embarrassed. This time it was not an attack, but Tian Long lost control of his emotions and was too excited. This is also very similar to Antares, whose moods fluctuate greatly and can explode anytime and anywhere. Lin Muyu flew back and looked at Tian Long, who was breathing heavily. "Are you missing the Dragon Ball?" Antares once explained to himself that the reason for his great mood swings was the lack of Dragon Balls. Later, Lin Muyu also confirmed that the emotions of the sacred dragon Xingguang are very stable, and the emotions of the elemental dragon in the drama also seem to be quite stable. The reason is the Dragon Balls. The absence of the Dragon Balls will not only greatly weaken the power of the Dragon Clan, but will also affect their emotions and souls. Tian Long struggled to control his emotions, staring at Lin Muyu with a pair of huge dragon eyes. "You said your friend's name is Antares?" Lin Muyu nodded, "Yes." "How do you know that I lack Dragon Balls?" Tian Long asked. Lin Muyu said, "Antares told me that the Dragon Balls will affect the emotions of your Dragon Clan. At that time, Antares was also short of Dragon Balls, and I helped him find a few." Tian Long almost exploded again when he heard this. But this time he tried to control it, and the air he sprayed out was even thicker, spreading for tens of thousands of miles without dissipating. "CHCB, even telling you such a secret thing, I believe you and him are good friends." W. "But why? I smell the scent of the sacred dragon and the elemental dragon on your body." Lin Muyu said, "I have seen the sacred dragon named Holy Light, and many elemental dragons." Tian Long seemed to still have doubts in his mind. "Dragon Clan generally hides itself from the world. How could you see them?" He is very curious, which is somewhat similar to Antares. It seems that he and Antares are also friends and have the same experience. It's just that Antares went to the small world, and he came to the borderland. Thinking in his heart, he answered Tian Long's question. "At that time, I happened to meet the Dragon Clan outside the territory. They were fighting the Zerg clan, so I just watched for a while." Tian Long believed Lin Muyu's words. "Come here." Lin Muyu flew in front of Tian Long. The two were only 100 meters apart. It could be said that they were face to face. A ball of light emerged from Tian Long's nose. The light was very soft and enveloped Lin Muyu. He seemed to be sniffing Lin Muyu's breath vigorously, and soon a look of shock gradually appeared in his eyes. "Why do you still smell of the dragon god on your body?" Lin Muyu said, "I was lucky enough to have a chance encounter with the dragon god." Suddenly, he let out a strange cry again. "How come you smell like him?" Why? Tian Long's emotions were out of control again, and Lin Muyu was a little helpless. His situation seemed not worse than Antares. Is it because there are too few Dragon Balls? But it can be seen that Tian Long is trying to control his emotions. Lin Muyu didn't make any reaction, but he was thinking in his heart, "Who is the person Tian Long said?" When mentioning him, there was obviously a hint of fear in Tian Long's voice. Lin Muyu's first reaction was that he was the old man he had seen in the original Secret Realm. But it's hard to say. Lin Muyu also thought of the mysterious owner. It doesn't seem impossible that there are two heavenly lords. It seemed a bit confusing, and Lin Muyu couldn't be sure for a while. Tian Long finally calmed down his emotions. "What's the point of you coming to me?" His tone changed and softened, and he seemed to have recognized Lin Muyu's identity. Lin Muyu naturally understood that the Dragon Clan had a grudge against him, but Antares was his friend, not just an ordinary friend. Therefore, as a friend of Antares, I am naturally recognized by Tian Long. Dragon people think very directly. Friends of friends are basically friends. Lin Muyu said, "I would like to ask you a favor. You should also know the situation between our human race and the alien race." Tian Long nodded. "I know, the Sky Eagle Emperor came to see me a few days ago, but I beat him away. The Eagle Emperor is looking for you. Does he want to ask you why he launched the Beast Wave, right?" He hummed heavily and said, "That's right, what an idiot." Don't say that this dragon didn't launch a beast tide. Even if he launched a beast tide, would he be able to control it? Isn't he just a half-step supreme who is neither human nor ghost? Let alone a clone, even if the real body comes, so what? This dragon will spray him to death with one breath of dragon breath. Lin Muyu immediately slapped the dragon's fart and said, "Indeed, with your strength, you don't have to be afraid of him at all. Tian Long's strength should be very strong. It looks like he is in the realm of the saint. His real combat power should be more than the saint. And it lacks the Dragon Ball. If the Dragon Ball is perfect, it may not only be the Holy Lord. At least the world of rules he showed just now, Lin Muyu feels, is no worse than the world of rules of the Supreme." Tian Long glanced at Lin Muyu. "You started the beast tide, right?" Lin Muyu admitted openly, "Yes, I was the one who started Zheng Chao." Mavericks was by his side, so there was no way he could hide it, and Lin Muyu didn't even think about hiding it. Lin Muyu said, "Our human race is at war with them, and more than a dozen races have been wiped out. If we continue to fight, all races will collapse sooner or later. They will have a large number of people fleeing outside the region, and the border area is the only way to go." Tian Long chuckled, "You want me to snipe them, right?" Lin Muyu followed immediately, "You are extremely wise, and it is really a pleasure to talk to you." Tian Long said, "I can promise you this, I can let those little guys block the border area and guarantee that every one of them will die. But I also have a condition here." Lin Muyu said, "Understand, the Dragon Clan values fair trade, just tell us what conditions you want." Tian Long said, "I retrieve the Dragon Ball." "How many?" 5, 3 inside the territory, 2 outside the territory. Lin Muyu fell into deep thought. "I can only say that I will do my best, but I can't guarantee it. The space in the domain is already very large, with a diameter of 2 million light years. Looking for a Dragon Ball is simply less reliable than finding a needle in a haystack. Tian Long also knows the difficulty. Of course I have a way. Dragons are all sensitive to their own Dragon Balls, as was the case with Antares back then. I don't know what method the Lord Tian Long in front of me will use to find his Dragon Ball." At this time, Tian Long raised his head and blew out a breath of dragon breath towards the starry sky. The dragon's breath never dispersed, gathering and forming in the starry sky, and finally turned into a ball similar to a Dragon Ball. Yu was almost as big as Lin Muyu's head and came into Lin Muyu's hands. Lin Muyu looked at the ball and found that it was covered with lines, similar to runes, but not runes. If it were anyone else, they would definitely not be able to recognize what these lines are, but Lin Muyu happens to know. This is dragon language, the specialized language of the dragon tribe. The language of the Dragon Clan is very strange. Although it is a language, it has an effect similar to runes. Antares said back then that dragon language is actually a magic technique. If you practice this magic to the deepest level, you can achieve the effect of speaking the magic. Tian Long said, "This is the dragon-seeking ball I refined. You can use it to find the dragon beads." Lin Muyu tried to activate the dragon-seeking ball with his soul power, and the dragon-seeking ball immediately projected a star map. There are countless star points on the star map, and star fields jump out on it. This is a star map in the space within the domain. It is very complete, only a little worse than the star map of the human race. There is a tiny red dot very distinct on the star map, located inside the Demon Clan star field, close to the core area. Tian Long said, "This star map was given to me by that old guy from your human race. As long as you are less than 1,000 light years away from the Dragon Ball will react and point you in the direction. Now this dragon already knows the location of one Dragon Ball, and you need to find the other ones yourself. Because you are Antares' friend, I could have agreed to your proposal first. I hope you won't disappoint me." Because of Antares' relationship, Tian Long once again sold Lin Muyu a favor, and he chose to believe in Lin Muyu. Lin Muyu said, "Don't worry, I will definitely do what I promised you. I can't guarantee it for those outside the territory, but I will definitely be able to get the 3 Dragon Balls back for you." The extraterrestrial space is too big. Even if the sensing range is as high as 1,000 light years, it can only be a drop in the bucket for the extraterrestrial space. Therefore, Lin Muyu is not sure about the dragon balls that have been exiled to extraterrestrial space. Tian Long also understands this. Just do your best. On the way back, Lin Muyu didn't expect that this matter would go so smoothly. He was originally thinking about how to persuade the other party, but he didn't expect that the other party turned out to be a dragon and a friend of Antares. In just a few words, the border area was sealed, and his worries were resolved. The previous slow drawing can speed up the progress. In a distant place, the sound of dragon roar sounded. The sound of dragon roar was very fast, far exceeding the speed of light, and was transmitted to the soul. The violent roar of the dragon was continuous and quickly spread into the distance. In the starry sky, countless starry sky beasts came to life, and pairs of eyes lit up in the starry sky. Some starry sky beasts are extremely huge, and their eyes are as big as stars, shining with strong light. The originally quiet and dark border area suddenly became lively. Mavericks, who was flying and jumping in the starry sky, trembled. Master Tian Long has issued an order. Tian Long uses his method to issue orders to the starry sky beasts, which will be spread throughout the entire border area in a very short time. Lin Muyu asked, "What is the specific order?" Maverick said, "It probably means guarding the border area, and as long as the coming ones are not giant beasts in the sky, I will kill everyone I see. The number of starry sky beasts in the trading place is too numerous to count. A large part of them are in the realm of gods, with extraordinary combat power. Apart from lack of wisdom, there is nothing wrong with them. But the lack of wisdom also has an advantage, that is, they will not have other thoughts and will faithfully execute orders. Under the command of Lord Tian Long, the border area is changing and becoming airtight. In a few days, all the starry sky beasts in the entire border area will wake up. At that time, the border area will be like a big net, completely covering the space in the domain." The deity wanted to go out, but there was no way. The other shore realm will probably also have a headache. In the borderland, there are also many starry sky-eared beasts in the other shore realm. Perhaps only the Holy Lord realm can carve out a bloody path. In this way, if any tribe wants to escape outside the territory, they will find that it is almost a dead end. Lin Muyu sat on the calf and quickly left the borderland and headed to the nearest race. The third head-on battle between the human race and the Alliance of 100 Races ended in a draw. This battle greatly boosted the morale of the Alliance of 100 Races. The negative impact of the previous two defeats was finally wiped away. However, the top leaders of the 100 Clans Alliance are still a little unhappy. The Demon Lord of the Abyss was severely injured and could not recover in a short period of time. His top combat power was affected. If the war breaks out again, I don't know who can deal with Lin Mohan. The God of War's fortress was fully fired this time, erupting with combat power comparable to that of the Holy Lord, which is truly unimaginable. The God of War fortress is the war weapon left behind by Xiao Zhantian. It is the only one in the entire human race. It is only now that it truly shows how terrifying it is. Among the 100 Tribes Alliance, the most seriously injured was the Red Tiger tribe. The Red Tiger clan didn't know why the Beast Tide came to their own race. It was clearly promised at that time and the backup plan was ready, but it still didn't work. But compared to the previous races, it is better. At least the race is still there, but most of them are dead and not exterminated. Afterwards, the Black Gold Saint also came to the other side of the Red Tiger clan and promised to compensate them. Of course, this compensation will only come after the war with the human race is over. The most ideal situation is to eliminate the human race and then enter the host star domain. Although they were very painful in their hearts, the two other people of the Red Tiger clan had to accept this reality. After all, it has happened, and they can't do anything. The news about the Red Tiger clan will soon spread among the alliance of hundreds of clans, and all the tribes will be filled with fear and uneasiness. The human race united with the being in the border area and took advantage of the war to launch a sneak attack from behind. It is impossible to hide this kind of thing, so instead of letting all the tribes continue to speculate, it is better to talk about it. During the high-level meeting, the Eagle Emperor appeared for the first time. The Eagle King said that he had already been to the border area and gave them a warning. This kind of thing should not happen again in the future. At the same time, the Golden Eagle tribe's Red Gold Saint also came to the front line to fill the position of the Abyss Demon Lord. Moreover, the fourth saint of the Golden Eagle clan is about to leave seclusion, and they cannot have one more saint by then. The Demon Lord of Hell also said that the fourth Holy Lord of the Demon clan will soon return. Even the Blood Ox Holy Lord said that the Orang Ox Holy Lord was on his way, and the Bull Demon clan would attack with all its strength. By then, the number of their saints will reach 9, and they can completely crush the human race. There are only 6 saints in the human race. Counting Lin Muyu and the God of War Bastion, there are only 8 saints in total. If there is one more saint, the gap will be huge. If the Abyss Demon Lord recovers from his injuries, the Alliance of 100 Races will have 10 Holy Lords, enough to crush the human race. This news was spread through a high-level meeting, which greatly increased the confidence of the people in the 100 Tribes Alliance. It seems that it is a certainty that they will eliminate the human race and occupy the human star field. When the news spread, everyone on the human side knew about it through the Shimu ancestral tree. Saint Fu told the news to several saints. Saint Killer said with disdain, "It's a beautiful thought. Sooner or later, you will wake up from your sweet dream." Zhang Xingzuan also smiled and said, "Of course they must be allowed to draw a big pie, otherwise there will be no need to fight this battle." The Sword Master said, "But what they said is also true. In terms of top combat power, we are indeed weaker." As a Holy Lord, she knew very well that there was a huge difference in strength between the Holy Lords. And I have to admit that the saints in the 100 Clans Alliance are not bad in strength. Zhang Xingzuan said, "I have informed Tian Long that he should come over." The Sword Saint frowned slightly. "Where is Lao Hao?" The War Saint said, "Lao Hao said that there is something else that needs to be done and he will come as soon as it is finished." Something happened? What can happen? Several saints shook their heads slightly, saying they didn't know. But they all knew that Saint Hao had his own business. On weekdays, the affairs of the human race are handled by Heavenly Saint and House Saint, and there are never any mistakes. Fu Xingzuan said, "Don't worry, the last one has just ended, and the next one is still early. A war of this magnitude will be separated by a long time each time. It is impossible to just finish the fight today and continue the fight tomorrow. Moreover, the human race still controls every move of the 100 Race Alliance, so there is no need to worry at all. The area between the Demon Clan and the Eagle Clan is a deserted void, without even stars, completely shrouded in darkness. If Lin Muyu is here, it can be seen that there is a dark power rippling here, coming from the Black Blood world. It's not that there is nothing here. There is a drop of black blood in the power that swallows the darkness. Black blood has been here for countless years and has never been discovered. The demon face emerged in the darkness, burning demon flames, and at the same time, a black, purple, and golden light traveled through the space from a distance and arrived instantly. "Eagle King, you're here." Demon Face's voice was low and slightly irritated. The Eagle Emperor whispered, "The Demon Lord of the Abyss is gone?" The Demon Lord narrowed his eyes slightly, sent him in. "I hope he can recover quickly." This time, he was seriously injured. The world of rules is almost broken, and the injuries suffered are not serious. For the Saint Realm, the world of rules and the soul are their foundation. No matter which one is injured, it is a serious injury. Eagle Emperor said, "It should be okay, they will find a solution." The Demon Lord asked, "How was the Eagle Emperor's trip? What did Tian Long say?" Eagle Emperor said, "He neither admitted nor denied it. I fought a battle with him, and we were victorious and undefeated." The Demon Lord sneered, "Even if you can win, do you dare to kill him?" The Eagle King shook his head. Slay the Dragon Clan, don't be joking. The Demon Lord said, actually, you don't need to go at all this time. You can't ask anything at all, so it's meaningless. The Eagle King still shook his head. No, it's not meaningless. Although he didn't admit it, I can see from his eyes that he didn't do it. The Demon Lord fell silent and murmured, if he didn't do it, who else could it be besides him? Eagle Emperor said, I think it may be a few starry sky beasts from the other side realm who made it privately. Maybe they were greedy and went into the tiger tribe to find some food. The Demon Lord did not refute the reason given by the Eagle Emperor, and what he said was not impossible. The behemoths in the starry sky will occasionally launch a beast wave on their own, but it is not entirely impossible. It's just that it's too ATHE. As soon as the fighting started on the front line, a fire started in the backyard. The power of darkness surged, and a man in black flew out of the black blood. It was the Half-Step Supreme who was with the two before. The Eagle King said directly, Mo Shui, how long will it take for you people from the Black Blood realm to arrive? Mo Shui's voice was low and hoarse. I just sensed it through the bloodline. It will take about 10 years to return to the territory. The specific time depends on the situation in the border area. Eagle Emperor said, let me ask one more question. Did you really find the Eye of Blood? Mo Shui nodded, that's natural. If we don't find them, we won't return. The Eagle Emperor smiled and said, it's too good. With the Eye of Blood, you can kill that old guy from the human race. Without that old guy, who in the human race can stop us? The Demon King also said in a deep voice, 140 years is still worth the wait. Then let those guys wait and faint a few times every once in a while. The outcome doesn't matter, so don't take it too seriously. When the Eye of Blood arrives, the human race will die. Lin Muyu returned to the domain and immediately sent a flying sword talisman to Fu Xingzuan, telling him his location and what to do next, and also asked about the current battle situation. After waiting quietly for 3 days, Lin Muyu received a reply from Xingzuan Fu. Fu Xingzuan described the current situation in detail. After reading it, Lin Muyu quickly thought about and deduced the next changes in the battle situation. He had a feeling that the human race was cooperating with his plan and delaying time. The alliance of hundreds of clans seems to be stalling for time, otherwise it would not take so long for a break, no matter how long it takes. At least if it were him, he wouldn't have to wait for such a long time. Restoring morale may be just an excuse, but there are deeper reasons behind it. Lin Muyu murmured to himself, it should be related to the Black Blood realm. The Demon Lord, Eagle Emperor, and the guys from the Black Blood realm should be planning something or waiting for something. But I don't want to wait any longer. Lin Muyu didn't know what they were planning. He knew exactly what he was going to do next. 2 flying sword talismans flew out, one for Holy Lord Hao and one for Holy Lord Fu. The 2 flying sword talismans carried different messages. After waiting for another 3 days, he first received a reply from Xingzuan Fu. Xingzuan Fu told him that he had done what he asked for and had determined the time. On the 4th day, Wu Xingzuan's reply also arrived, and he also followed Lin Muyu's idea. The 2 saints had great trust in Lin Muyu. I will not look down on Lin Muyu at all because of his level of cultivation, but respect his intentions very much. Lin Muyu's requirements can be met as much as possible. 5.6 At Lin Muyu's request, the human army moved silently. The original army of 1 billion has been silently reduced by 200 million. One warship after another entered deep space and disappeared without a trace. The human race was very secretive and did not leak any information. In the Divine City, a large number of cultivators also began to take action, led by Saint Hao, and began to take action according to Lin Muyu's request. These cultivators are basically cultivators from various families. Although they are not soldiers, their combat effectiveness is not weak at all. And the realms of each of them are not low, at least they are gods, and their number exceeds tens of millions. Thousands of gods, and more than 10 from the other side, under the leadership of Saint Hao, quietly left the city. Lin Muyu counted the time. After waiting for more than 10 days, Lin Muyu stood up slowly, his eyes getting colder and colder. It's about to begin. The human race has an army of 200 million, including more than 1 million gods, and there are also many from the other side. The person leading the team is killing the Holy Lord, and the target is several alien star fields close to the White Tiger Star territory. Lin Muyu's flying sword talisman told them to attack foreign races. As for which race, there was no specific requirement, he just said that they should be free to choose. There is no need to actually defeat it, it just means that it will cause heavy damage to several races. At present, the main forces of each clan are concentrated on the front line, and the internal strength of the clan is empty. Facing the team led by Killing Lord, there is really no resistance. The team led by Saint Hao was to kill the alien races outside the Xuanwu Star territory. Lin Muyu's request was the same. He did not ask for the actual annihilation of each race, but only required heavy damage. Lin Muyu believed that with the abilities of the two saints, there would be no problem in achieving this step. And his target is the various tribes near the Tian Long Star territory. Maverick's army of starry sky beasts is out again. The starry sky beasts still have dozens of days to survive, so of course they must make good use of it. Lin Muyu did not use the concealment talisman this time, but directly asked Mavericks to break the barrier and rush in with the army of starry sky beasts. The alien tribe he attacked was called the Yellow Bird tribe, which was a little weaker than the Red Tiger tribe. There were 2 Bayan in the tribe, both of whom were on the front line. Now that the clan is empty, Lin Muyu can take advantage of the situation and enter. The time agreement between the 3 parties was very accurate. 27 moves were made almost at the same time, and the time difference was very short. The barrier was broken, and the Abyss Demonic Eyes immediately sensed it and sent the news back at the same time. On the throne of the Abyss Demon Lord, a clone of the Abyss Demon Lord who only had the Divine Realm was sitting there. After receiving the report from the Abyss Demonic Eye, the flames boiled violently and immediately spread the news to the front line. Only half a day later, the front line had received the news. The Hell Demon Lord whispered, the human race suddenly launched an attack on the Blackstone tribe, the Spirit Turtle tribe, the Flying Python tribe, and the Ironwood tribe. The Yellow Bird tribe suffered from a beast tide at the same time, and the initiator of the beast tide was the previous giant beast. The faces of several saints changed at the same time, and the Black Gold Saint said, are the human race crazy? What are they going to do? The newly arrived Red Gold Saint murmured, the tide of beasts has happened again. What a coincidence at this time. The implication is that he does not believe that the beast dynasty occurs naturally and must be manipulated secretly. If it's not the Tian Long in the border area, it's the giant rhinoceros beast that has a private agreement with the human race. Perhaps the human race gave him a lot of benefits, so he was allowed to control the starry sky beast to attack the alien race. Bloody Ox Holy Lord said, are we going to support him? Several fell into silence, asking whether they wanted to support them. If I go, what will happen to the frontline battlefield? But if we don't go, will the alliance of hundreds of clans collapse? The Hell Demon Lord slapped the table and was the first to make a decision. We must go to support, otherwise our alliance of hundreds of clans will collapse. Let the alliance of hundreds of races collapse. Presumably this is also the idea of the human race. At this time, suddenly an alarm sounded in the military formation and fireworks were in full bloom. Several saints rushed out of the palace at the same time and looked into the distance. In the distance, dozens of human beings on the other side, led by several saints, were heading towards them. Without the encumbrance of a large army, the human race moved very quickly this time. When the alarm sounded, the strong human race was already approaching. The difficult question was immediately placed in front of several people, whether to take care of the front line or to provide support. The strong men of the human race came to kill fiercely, including the Sword Saint, the Killing Saint, the Fu Saint, Lin Mohan, and the God of War Bastion. At first glance, the human race's holy master has only 5 people in combat power. On the side of the 100 Clans Alliance, there are 6 saints. The number of their saints exceeds that of the human race, and they seem to have an advantage. However, they are not sure that they can defeat the human race and kill the opponent's saints in a short time. It may have been 10 days and a half, but there was still no result. But in these 10 days and a half, several small tribes may have been wiped out. According to the information obtained from the Abyss Demon Eye, the military power used by the human race this time is equally astonishing. Moreover, the current strength of each race is empty and they cannot stop the human race at all. It was already far inferior to the human race, and now it is even worse. The killing saint is not here, so we can leave one of us to support the various tribes. The Red Gold Saint said, Holy Blood Ox, the Bull Demon clan is very close to the Xuanwu Star region. You ask the Orang Ox Saint to attack the human Xuanwu Star region, and I will lead people to attack the White Tiger Star region. He knew very well that it was too late to support the various races, so the best way was to directly attack the human star field and force the humans to come back. At this time, a golden ray of light lit up from the starry sky, and a golden scorching sun rose from the human army. The golden scorching sun was crushing towards the 100 Clans Alliance with overwhelming force. Be careful, it's the heavenly saint of the human race. Isn't the heavenly saint in the divine city? When did you come here? Be careful, the heavenly saint is the most powerful among the human saints, go in and deal with him. There is also a gap between the saints. The gap between the weak and the strong is not small. Tian Qingzhen's combat power is undoubtedly among the top of his opponent. Several saints present here all know how powerful Tian Qingzhen is, and they don't think they can stop him. The Crimson Gold Saint, who had just said that he was going to attack the Xuanwu Star territory, changed his mind at this moment. Leave it to me, the Heavenly Saint. He was so fierce that he flew out and rushed towards the golden sun. Before he could fly out of the military camp, a brilliant sword energy cut through the starry sky and slashed towards him. Cut through the air with one sword. Lin Muyu drew his sword brazenly, and the power of the sword was so terrifying that it made people horrified. The Crimson Gold Saint's face changed drastically, and he finally realized what the Abyss Demon Lord felt at that time. He felt that if he was not careful, he would most likely die under this sword. The person who draws the sword is only the other side. What a monster! The Red Gold Saint gave a strange cry and took out a spear in his hand. The spear was completely white, forming a strong contrast with the red-gold color of his body. The body of the gun is engraved with various skulls, making it look extremely ferocious. At that time, almost all the armies of the alliance of hundreds of clans had a powerful magic weapon in the other side. No one knew where these magic weapons came from. What is unified is that these magic weapons are all engraved with a large number of skulls. It is also through these magic weapons that the other shores of various races have made up the strength gap with the other shores of the human race, and can compete with the other shores of the human race. The Red Gold Saint held a spear and faced Lin Muyu's sword light. But just as the spear was about to thrust out, it suddenly exploded on its own. The terrifying power rolled back and struck the Crimson Gold Saint. There was a scream from Qi Jin, and half of the feathers on the golden body were blown up. The timing of the explosion of the spear was very clever, and the sword light followed one after another. The Red Gold Saint revealed his determination, gave a cold shout, and sacrificed himself to the world of rules. In the world of rules, countless red eagles flew out and crashed into the sword light without hesitation. Then the world of rules evolved into a huge eagle, spraying red gold light and colliding with the sword light. Click! Everyone heard the cracking sound, and there was a crack in the rule world of Jin Qingzuan. At the same time, the Red Gold Holy Lord screamed again and was shaken back. Fortunately, his world of rules blocked Lin Muyu's sword. The Red Gold Saint who returned was frightened and somewhat unbelievable. Why did my magic weapon suddenly explode? The Black Gold Saint said, there is something wrong with these magic weapons. The magic weapon of the Demon Lord of the Abyss suddenly exploded before, otherwise the Demon Lord of the Abyss would not have been defeated so quickly. Indeed, if the magic weapon hadn't suddenly exploded, the gold-quality Holy Lord would not have been defeated so quickly. However, without the use of magic weapons, the 100 Races Alliance's Other Shore Realm is no match for the human race's Other Shore Realm. The headache has fallen on them. Tian Xingzuan didn't give them time to think, and the golden scorching sun was already crashing down like a meteor.